Speaking of enemies, where should we start? You want to start with Jokic? There's so much that happened this last weekend, but the last thing that just happened was Suns Nuggets. And before we even get into Devin Booker, and by the way, Jokic for that matter, the performances that were put on. Suns tie the series. It's 2 games apiece now. Everyone held serve at home. But Jokic got a tech because he kind of elbowed, pushed the Suns owner.
He nudged him.
Nudged him.
It just looked like a strong push with the way Matt flopped.
He was going after the ball, then the owner kind of got in his space, so he swung his elbow a little bit and got a tech for it. I don't know. Listen, you see the owner put his hand on Jokic's head.
Man, he
get away from me.
So bad.
Well, first off, look, here's a rule in basketball that you play basketball in team sports in college, and like Matt Ishbia played, obviously, at Michigan State for Tom Izzo. There's a little bit of that toughness there. Jokic went over to grab the ball. Matt Ishbia was like, nah, that's my ball. Like, that's such a guard mentality. Like, when you get into a little bit of a mess on the court, like you're scrumming for the ball, you don't let go of the rock, right? Like, people, you ever seen that happen for a key? Like, it's a jump ball, too. Like, Max and I are going for the ball.
Yeah, probably I get it, but go ahead.
Probably not. And I'm going to walk away with the rock just to let you know maybe it's my ball.
Maybe not.
So, like, him holding the ball away from Jokic, I get it. Jokic's like, yo, just give me the rock. And then Matt Ishbia kind of, like, pushed his body up into Jokic, and he got, like,
well, looking at it from that angle –
watch.
The Suns owner puts his hand on Jokic's back, and what Jokic does is not exactly an elbow. He extends with his forearm to push him away. Should not have been a tech because he wasn't the first person to put his hands on anyone. He got his hands put on him. He got hands put on him first on his hip. He's like, he's getting some space.
It shouldn't have been a tech at all, but the owner, come on, man. Like, you doing too much. I don't care that he went to Michigan State. I don't care that he played basketball in the 70s. I don't care that he's a billionaire. He shouldn't be sitting on – owners shouldn't sit on the floor. Sit in the box.
Well, let him sit where they want.
Owners can sit on the floor.
Sit in
Steve
the box,
Ballmer sits on the floor all the time.
I'll tell Steve Ballmer.
Mark Cuban, too.
Sit in the box. I ain't got no problem telling him, Jay.
Nobody knew.
I'll run up on Mark Cuban, and I'll tell him personally, you should be in the box,
but like Matt Ishbia just isn't recognizable like that yet. People don't know
it's not a matter,
who he is.
It's not a matter of him being recognizable or not recognizable. It's a matter of him getting engaged, like the Joker said. First of all, he's a fan. And when you start to act that way, as an owner, you can't act like a fan, man. You can't be that way.
Or else you get treated like, hey, listen, let's listen to Jokic.
That way.
Well, he ain't going to be treated like the fan because the fan that put his hands on Jokic got kicked out. Matt Ishbia right there.
Why did you retrieve the ball, Jokic?
Why did you take it upon yourself to retrieve the ball?
What?
Why did you take it upon yourself to retrieve the ball? The referee could have retrieved the ball.
Because Okoji was on the ground and we had an advantage 5-on-4.
Trying to get a break. That's a legit reason. One guy's out. Let's get the ball in bounds. Let's go.
Yeah, 5-on-4. Let's roll.
Quick. I mean, the thing is, like, Matt Ishbia obviously holding on to the ball not to let there be an advantage. Right? Like, he doesn't want to let Jokic inbound the ball, the ref hand it in for an advantage, going back the other way.
Nuggets head coach Michael Malone was asked about his reaction
I love this answer.
to Jokic's interaction with the Suns owner. Jokic had a very legitimate reason for going to get the ball. Suns owner put his hands on Jokic first. Jokic just created a little space. Here is Michael Malone.
I think it's crazy that Nikola got a technical foul in that situation. He's going to get the ball, and some fan is holding on to the ball like he wants to be a part of the game. Just give the ball up, man. You know what I mean? And, they deemed Nikola doing something that was excessive, I guess, and they gave him the tech, but I still don't really understand it.
Do you think the fans, the owner of the Suns, made any difference?
I don't give a I mean, I really don't care.
Yeah, I'm with him 100%.
100%. 888-SAY-ESPN. Are you with Jokic and Malone and the Nuggets case here? Or should he have been teed up because it was excessive? 7-footer, kind of pushing off. And
Max, some people are trying to talk about a suspension for Jokic.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And also, Suns owner Ishbia, he did the whole flop. Sat in the chair. Oh, my God, flopped into the chair.
Against
what? I know you against it.
Against what?
But against the owner, me saying the owner should be upstairs. Go be like Dr. Jerry Buss, man. Sit upstairs in the box.
Well, that might be the best way to do it, but they got the right to sit where they want.
They can do whatever they want to. They can close the damn stadium down and have no fans. That's all I'm saying. If you going to be down on that floor, engaged and acting like that, come on, man, stop, Max. Y'all need to stop.
Well, if you're going to act like a player, you get treated like a player. Why would that be a tech? Jokic recognized last night in the fourth quarter We have a 5-on-4 because there was a Suns player dove into the stands, right? So we have let me quickly get the ball and inbound it, and we have a 5-on-4. Now the Suns, the Suns owner, Matt Ishbia, who was a walk-on 20 years ago
at Michigan State with Tom Izzo.
At Michigan State, right? He's holding. He has the ball initially, right? And when Jokic tries to get it, it kind of kicks back a couple rows. Ishbia is holding on to the ball. Then he kind of crowds Jokic, puts his arm on his hip, and Jokic kind of shoves him off with his forearm, and he gets teed up. You know, Jay, the problem here is, talk about a home court advantage, right? They've stopped an offensive advantage for the Nuggets, for the visiting team. But in addition to that, you tee up the Nuggets? You can't. You absolutely cannot.
So Tony Brothers was the referee for the game, Key. He's one of the best referees there is in the game of basketball, by the way. Good friend of mine, too. And they interviewed him for an official interview after the game. So I want to read it to you guys so you can have context to understand what happened. The question, why did Nikola Jokic receive an unsportsmanlike technical foul for the fan exchange late in the first half? Tony Brothers. The ball went over into the corner there, and one of the fans was holding the ball. Jokic came to get the ball, grabbed it away from the fan. Then after that, he deliberately gave him a shove and pushed him down. So he was issued an unsportsmanlike technical foul. Question, so he pushed the fan down? Brothers, yes. Question, it's the same fan that had the ball, right? Brothers, the fan no longer had the ball, but it was the fan that started with the ball. Last question. What led to him getting the unsportsmanlike technical foul instead of being ejected? Tony Brothers. I just deemed the technical foul the appropriate penalty for what happened over there. He didn't just run over and hit a fan. There was some engagement, so I deemed the technical foul the appropriate penalty.
I understand it's all happening very fast in real time, but on video you can see Ishbia, the Suns owner, the so-called fan, came after he held the ball and held on tight to it and negated the advantage the Nuggets would have had competitively, right? After he did that, he also went into Jokic's space, like under his arm, and put his hand on his hip. So Jokic was creating space for himself. There should be no foul there, no technical there, no nothing. If anything, Ishbia should be ejected from the arena, if anything.
Faking with the flop, though, Jay. That's why I'm laughing.
Keep the hands up.
Oh,
the hands
my
up.
God.
Then, like Yates said, he falls directly back into a seat. That's, look, Matt is extremely competitive. That's who I've always known him to be. You let go of the ball, man. Like I said, that's a no call. You just let that one go. But Tony
Matt
Brothers
ain't
is
playing,
one.
though, Jay.
I hear, but
Tony, he's not playing.
So would you want Tony Brothers Matt Ishbia ejected?
He should be ejected.
No.
Yes.
He should absolutely be ejected from the arena. Yep.
Yes.
100%.
I don't care about him being no ex-basketball player and all that. He got a bunch of money. He the owner. Eject his ass.
You cannot put your hands on a player. First, he stopped the competitive advantage.
Yeah.
Right? That should actually be attack on the, especially when you find out it's the owner. But he stopped the competitive advantage, and he put his hands on a player.
When have you ever, Jay, seen a fan in $20,000, $30,000 court seats in a playoff game when a basketball dribbles toward him, take the basketball and don't want to give it back? Like, when have you ever seen that? This isn't baseball. This isn't football where they kick a PAT or a field goal, it goes into the stands, and you get to keep the ball.
There's tempo.
Or they hit a home run. No, man, stop.
There's pace and
But if you're watching Jokic's momentum, it kind of takes him towards him even more. So, like, the push-off, to me, it's null and void.
But you know, it wasn't null and void. That would be one thing, Jay. But they got teed up.
That's why I said it should be null and void.
Jokic got teed up.
I said it shouldn't have been a tee. It should have been a no call. That's
no, once the owner holds on to the ball and won't let go, and that creates a competitive advantage for his team, he got to go. He got to go.
And you know, too, Jay, when people all up on you, like, you're an athlete, you're a player.
Yeah, you're getting worried.
He's a fan. Yeah, you all up on me, man. Back up off me. Give me my space. Give me my space.
You know what he was? He was a walk-on to the playoffs.
I'm asking for the basketball so I can do my deal, what I need to do with my team.
I agree with you on that, Mark.
Just because you're the owner, that doesn't give you any rights to do what you just did.
You think that warrants him getting ejected from the game?
Yes.
Yes, because if it was
more so
your ass, You would get ejected?
More so a team technical foul. I don't know if that's
no. The reason the owner
I'm
should
talking
be,
about the owner.
I know that should have been a
because
Suns.
there are several
should have been a
reasons.
Suns technical foul.
There's several reasons.
Not an ejection.
It may be an addition, but there's several reasons he should have been ejected. One, he held on to the ball, creating a competitive advantage for his team in a tight playoff game in the fourth quarter, by the way. Could decide the game. You don't know at that moment. Two, he then entered Jokic's space like under his arm and put his hands on him.
Jokic's momentum was coming into him as well.
No. He stepped to him. Can we see that again on video?
Show it.
Let's see it again on video. We'll break it down. He stepped to him, stepped under. Look.
So gets pushed back there.
Okay, no. Can we back that up? We showed it. Okay, here we go.
Ball goes here.
Watch. Okay, so he takes the ball away.
See, look, Jokic went right back into him. See, it's not that way, Max. It's a little bit of the meeting in the middle, and then the push there.
Jokic went back toward him because the ball spent out.
Ball spent out,
Yeah.
right.
Ball
Jokic went back into him. See, he's coming into his space.
Yes.
Jokic is infringing into. Look, a little bit. Jokic is infringing.
I would say the owner bucked up to him, Jay, on that.
Okay, well, the owner put his hand on his hip. I understand that. That's what I'm saying. It's a little bit. That's why it should have just been a no call all the way around. Or if you want to give the Suns team a technical foul for holding onto the ball,
you might
but that's
be
not
right.
worth an
Jay,
ejection.
You might be right about that because Jokic's momentum was taking him that way. It's possible that Ishbia was bracing himself against Jokic's head. It's unclear.
I would eject Ishbia in a heartbeat.
I hear you, Jay. Key, I also hear Jay. One thing is for sure: the tech should not have gone against Denver.
I agree
It should have gone against Phil.
It shouldn't have been.
Phoenix.
It shouldn't have been a technical. It should have been an ejection from a fan getting involved in the course of the game.
That's true too. How do
They
you
should have
explain
just.
that? How do you explain that?
You have to separate the owner from being a fan. You got to separate it. You can't. Oh, but he's the owner. No. He's got to go.
Book now has one of the best 9-game stretches in NBA postseason history. First player to record 300 points on 70% true shooting percentage over a 9-game span ever. I mean, listen, I wish KD would assert himself more, but Jay, it sure looks like he saw something while he was out that made him think, let me just feed this cat when I get back.
He's been the most prolific scorer in the NBA playoffs. I mean, period. Most prolific scorer. I mean, last 2 games, averaging 41 points on 79% shooting from the floor. Just let me say that again. 41 points per game last 2 games, 79% shooting from the floor. But they're playing faster. They're playing exponentially faster in the last 2 games since they haven't had CP3. You saw Campaign last night push the tempo of the game, which allows D-Book to flow into it. It allows Kevin Durant to play before the defense gets set. And that's where they've had a significant advantage. And I'm going to need Denver. Their defense has been DOA since they went to the desert. I mean, last night, 129 points for Phoenix, 57% shooting from the floor, 45% shooting from the three-point line. And that same Phoenix bench that have 4 points, their bench have 4 points, I think it was like in game 2 where Denver won, have 42 points last night. Beat Denver's bench 42-11. Landry Shamet, like 19 points, 4 threes in the fourth quarter. So when you start double teaming D-Book and they're making shots from the outside for as prolific as they've been, Denver's defense.
You're telling me that Chris
Did
Paul's
they,
absence helps the pace, right?
Did they get younger, Jay, between the combination of CP3 being gone right now and them not having to play in that altitude?
Probably a combination of both, Key. But you know, like the one thing, look, man, like your kids are CP3's kids' friends. Like you know how CP3 to watch him play his whole career, Key. Like he just pounds. You know, some people that just pound the rock, they almost dribble the air out sometimes. Like he, not like James Harden and other guys, but he's more so like, let me bring the ball up the court as the play's happening. Now let me deliver, instead of just like, you go ahead. You go ahead.
He controls the offense.
He controls the offense, and now the offense is just, it's faster. The offense is more controlled by D-Book and Kevin Durant. And Campaign is like, hey, take it, go. So what do you do in Game 5? Do you bring him back?
So if he comes back, do you bring him back? Well, if he comes back, do you bring him back off the bench?
You probably have to, but then you worry about
second unit.
You know, the altitude is a real thing, man. So now you're bringing him back after not playing for a while. And
but off the bench, you could limit his minutes.
You could, but the pace of the game has to stay the same, what it's been like the last 2 minutes. So groin injury, pace of the game exponentially faster. how do you wean those minutes if you're Monty Williams or
But
CP3?
you're going to wear down in that altitude.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the altitude and the pace, Key.
Same thing you're doing in Phoenix, you're going to wear down. But if you limit his minutes, then you could, go, 6-7 minutes at up-tempo, then all of a sudden bring him out, and now that next unit goes back in, and they're fresh and ready to go.
I mean, look, Mike Malone called it out. I mean, the defense for Denver just has to be better. I mean, you go into the desert up 2-0. You gotta get a game. You get a game. Today is game 4 in 2 big-time series. You have the Knicks and the Heat. The Heat are up 2-1. You have the Lakers and the Warriors. The Lakers are up 2-1. You firmly believe that
we up 2-1?
2-1.
Oh, yeah,
if the Lakers get one, if they get it tonight, 3-1, the series is over, in my opinion. It's over.
That's right. I forgot.
If the Heat get 3-1,
again. Wow.
Series are over. But if you allow these things to go 2-2, I mean, it still favors Denver because 2 out of 3 games are in Denver. But now it's like that's dangerous territory. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.